This little guy. I just got home from work and he just ran right up to me and started rubbing around my legs and my feet. I come downstairs and he just throws himself on the floor, rolls around. His brother, not so much. He doesn't like us. He knows I'm talking about him. Yeah. This guy, though. He's such a kind and and loving animal. Unlike his brother. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. I gotta work now, okay? What? No! Pet me! Love me! Rub my nose. When we left off, the Tandy was experiencing some video problems, and we quickly realized what the issue was, and I confirmed it by reducing the amount of installed RAM, or video RAM. On this particular machine, video RAM, and like many other machines from that era, you can easily upgrade the video memory by installing these little memory chips. These are, I believe these are actually called SIPs, single inline pack. No, these are, on machines like this one, you can install additional video memory by installing these little DRAM modules. These come in a variety of sizes. This machine requires 256 kilobyte modules. And so this machine has 512 kilobytes of onboard video RAM. And to upgrade, it features 4 little DRAM sockets, which, according to the owner's manual, they have to be fully occupied. So you can't just install them piecemeal. It has to be all or nothing. And I suspect, because it has a maximum of 1 megabyte total as far as I know. So I'm not quite sure how that works out. Whether it sees only the 1 megabyte that you've installed, because 256 times 4, well, that's 1 megabyte. But the 512 that's on board already, well, I'm not really sure what happens to that. So maybe I'm misreading the instructions. Could be. Alright, so what I did is I went over to eBay and I ordered 4 DRAM chips. 256K in size. This cost me a whopping $11. Now, that may seem like a lot when compared to memory prices today, but honestly, given well, I imagine that they don't produce, well, they probably do still make these modules, because they're used in other things. They're not just, this isn't just video memory. You know, these are, memory was once sold in chip form, and it could be used for industrial or computer applications, and the chips themselves, that may seem like a lot of money, given, you know, you can buy a gigabyte of memory for that much. But you're really dealing with the economies of scale here. This guy is selling them piecemeal. And if I were to buy them, you know, buy a couple of rolls or tubes of these things from an industrial supplier, I'd probably pay quite a lot less than that. But these DRAM chips are quite obsolete. They're still in use. I mean, they still use similar modules in certain applications even today, but they're no longer used in computers anymore because we're now using surface mount chips. These are through-hole chips or socketed chips, depending on the application. You know, so they're kind of an outdated product in a way. But I don't know if they're new or reclaimed. That's one thing that wasn't clear to me when I looked at the auction or the listing. I don't know if they're reclaimed or if they're brand new. It doesn't really matter, you know, as long as they're good. And like I said earlier in the previous video, only one of my chips is bad, but you think I'm going to sit here and mess around with socketed chips and just keep dealing with, you know, I'm not going to pull one out at a time. I can't do that. So it's just easier to buy all four, and you can actually tell if these are new or used pretty easily. Just look at the legs, and when they're brand new, the legs are splayed out just ever so slightly. Yeah, these are brand new chips. These are not used. And these are made by Hynix. So, same manufacturer even. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's take a look here. So, they go into these sockets right here. U15 through U18. And pin 1 is notched on these chips. There's a notch at the end where the pin 1 is located, and then there's a little divot, a little dimple, to tell you that that right there is pin 1. And on the sockets themselves, you want to look at the printing on the board, and you can show you what I mean. This is for those of you who have never done this before. If you have done this before, you don't need to know this, but there's a little divot on the side of the, or on the top edge, to let you know that pin 1 goes there. So, pretty cool. The thing is, not every vintage logic board has the ability to have additional video memory installed. So what we're going to do is we're going to slightly take the chip and just go like, there's actually a tool for this, and I used to have one. But what it does is it lets you, it slightly bends the legs inward so that it'll fit right on the socket. And there is a tool for that. Again, I used to have one. It's actually a chip inserter. And what you do is you press it on top of the chip. It's like a little plastic tool. And you press it onto the chip and press it into the socket. Back when I worked at Anatek, yes, the same Anatek that sells the Anatek blue ESR meters. I used to work for the original owner of the company before he passed away. And I used to do this by hand, but I would hand solder the meters together for him. All right. It looks to me like these chips might be the wrong size. No, not the wrong size. They're just a bitch to get in, huh? I'll say. Camera. I'm going to use the camera's light real quick. Okay. Make sure all the legs are in the appropriate pins and then just drop them in. But yeah, we used to use a chip inserter to get them onto the or into the sockets correctly. And yeah, that chip inserter would actually bend the legs for you as you pressed it onto the chip. It was so easy to do. Alright, you want them kind of straight. Okay, just double check. Now, if you've ever folded a pin on a chip, you know what I'm talking about. It happened to me once. I was pissed. Fortunately, when you're in an environment of production, you know, like John, who owned Anatek, he would buy the chips, you know, in bulk. So if one of them got folded, it wasn't a big deal. They were inexpensive chips overall, so not that big a deal. But yes, I have. I can actually say I worked in a production environment, assembling ESR meters. The Anatek blue ESR meter. Fun fact, if you happen to be watching this video, and if you know what I'm talking about, let me show you what I'm talking about. I've got one here somewhere. Oh, here it is. If you happen to own one of these blue ESR meters, looks like this, and it actually, and you bought it back when Anatek was in New Hampshire. If you bought it assembled, crack it open and take a look on the board. What I used to do, every one I've ever assembled, I signed my name on it. So it'd be kind of cool if any of you folks happen to have one that I signed. I would, before I started plopping components onto the boards and soldering them on, I would write my name or my initial. I think I wrote my initials, BAB. And John had his nickname on the boards as well when he would have them produced. They all the boards said JB on them, JAYBEE. That was his nickname for himself, and he was a fun guy. Miss him. But yeah, if you own an ESR meter from Anatek, check it out and see if it's signed, because that might be one that I built. He didn't mind. I did that. I'm like, hey, you mind if I sign these boards? Just because, you know, what the hell, right? He's like, yeah, go ahead. We did one trade show together. We went to Hamvention 2013 in Dayton, Ohio, to sell products, and he paid for the whole thing. He put me up in a hotel room, paid for my flight out and everything. And he paid me $500 for the weekend just to work 2 8-hour shifts or whatever 9-hour shifts we did. I think we did 9 hours. I was doing this in addition to my day job, and the two kind of conflicted a lot. I wasn't terribly useful to him because I had to work my current job, which I still have, and so I didn't have a lot of time to give him, but I gave him the time that I could. And the ESR meters are great for, and the company's still in business. He sold it to a gentleman in California, I believe. So they're now made in the West Coast, but, and they've expanded the product line, but they still make the old blue ESR meters. So yeah, if you're in the market for one, if you don't know what an ESR meter is, it's a tool for actually testing capacitors for, equivalent series resistance, ESR. As capacitors age, they develop a resistance that can, over time, not only cause unexpected malfunctions in the circuit, but they also lose capacitance, and that's what the ESR meter's designed to suss out. So the only downfall is, and what I found is you have to check them out of circuit. If they're still in circuit, you're going to get false readings. And that was from John himself. That's how he described how it worked. Because I didn't know what an ESR meter was when I met John and started working for him. I met him through someone I work with, his wife. And Jesus, did this thing break again? I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This clip here, it just keeps breaking, and I don't know what to do about it. Oh, before we put this together, I got to figure out why my reset button doesn't work. So I'm gonna have to take this faceplate off anyway. So let me get a better look at this clip that keeps snapping. It drives me nuts. It keeps breaking, and it's like the one thing wrong with this machine that I can't seem to fix, and it's just the stupidest thing ever. Because the plastic clip design that they use is just ridiculously cheap. Of all the things to cheap out on, they cheaped out on this, and I don't know why they did that. It's just stupid. But yeah, the reset button isn't working, and that's the black and white wire. Maybe I have it off wrong. Oh, I think I found the problem. Let's see. No, I didn't. No, that's not what I think it is. Let's pull this out again. Yeah, that damn reset button doesn't work. So check it with a multimeter and see what the hell's going on. I've got one here somewhere. I'm gonna pull that out. Let's see if I wonder if, you know what may have happened, water might have gotten into the switch when I had it open and I was washing it. And that could be what happened. Yeah. Probably what happened. Oh, I'm going to figure it out. Take this all apart. We'll once again try to fix this damn clip, and then I'm going to try to reinforce it somehow. There's got to be some way to fix it. But before we start diving into that, let's see if this this new memory has solved our little problem. Let's see. Plug in the audio. Hit the power switch. Turn the monitor on. Okay. I don't know if there's a way to tell how much memory is installed in this thing. So we're gonna. I really didn't want to put that on the printer, but, well, here we go. Alright, so I'm going to go into Setup, see if it tells me. Is it Delete or is it F2? It's F2, Phoenix BIOS is F2. It's going to tell me the keyboard failure. Oh, no, huh? Not going to do it? You bastard. Well, I can throw these old ones away. You don't need them anymore. Alright. There's no way that I'm aware of to tell how much memory is installed. F2, 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 F2. Remember that, F2. We're gonna fix that keyboard. We're gonna fix that control panel for sure. Ah, shit! What did I do? I hit it again. I didn't mean to, I swear. Just bring me into frickin' F2. Come on, come on. No, huh? Ah, there we go. So it tells me what? Oh, I can set the refresh rate too. There is another menu, I think. No, huh? Yeah, it doesn't give me the option. I'm going to set it to 72 Hertz. Let's see if that works. But it doesn't tell me... what the memory installed count is. There's nothing. The one I had before, the 3100, if I recall, it had a separate menu. It had more info, but I guess the hell not, huh? F2 is save, setup, and exit. Okay. We're going to launch Windows and see what she does. It's going to do its initial memory test because we were in BIOS, so that's what it does. And there it goes. Yeah, there's nothing that tells me the video memory. I think, wait, maybe, what is it, MSD, yeah, you know what? Because I got 622 on here. DOS 622 has a program called MS Diag or something like that. What the hell is it called? MS Info? No, it's MSD, Microsoft Diagnostics. Here we go. This might be what we're looking for. Let's see what it does. Video. So let's press V. Okay, it just tells me basics. It does not tell me how much memory is installed. No, nothing. So, how about memory? No, it just tells you system memory. That's it. Nothing else. And it's detecting the chip as a 486DX, and it doesn't tell you the clock speed. because that would be far too useful. Alright. Enough playing around. How do I get out of here? File, utilities, exit. When? Now, prior to this memory replacement, we were getting artifacts in the image. The working directory is invalid. Oh, I was trying to run start to set something up, I guess. Oh, you know what? It's that zip install thing. We need to get rid of that. So far, no artifacts. Everything looks hunky-dory. Let's take a look at our control panel. We're running at 72 Hertz, I think. I don't see any flicker. We're going to go into Windows Setup. Let's see, SVGA 800 by 600 256 color, 512K. Let's do 800 by 600 256 color, 1 megabyte. I need to put the driver disk in there. Let's go find that. Where did I put it? Yeah, keep those away from the screwdriver, huh? Should be in the original system file boxy thing. Where did I put that? I have got to get myself organized. So this is going to confirm it. If we succeed, then we'll know pretty quickly whether or not this was a bust. Here's the Windows drivers. Put that on the floppy drive. Hit OK. Now, what does one do if they don't have the OEM drivers? It's 2021. Getting some drivers for some... I don't have the display drivers, so I'm just going to hit cancel. That's fine. But it's still stuck with FPGA accelerator 800 by 600. No, it didn't. But if I go back here... Yeah, what do you do? What do you do if... Oh, I thought it was 16-bit color. I'm sorry. There is no 16-bit color, is there? Oh, okay. Whoops. Well, we can still do that. Current. Alright. Yeah, there is no option for 16-bit color, apparently. Not with that. Well, that was fun. Let's just see if it comes back to life. Alright, it's back to life. Interesting how it doesn't let me choose. Interesting. Does that look any different to you, or is it just me? Because, no, you know what? It is different. We actually are running in 16-bit color, because if you look at the shading here, wasn't there before. And we're not getting any artifacts. So this is the mode that I wanted it to run in before, but I couldn't. Alright, that answers it all. Let's take a look at the color pattern. The color palette. It should be a custom color. Let's define custom colors. Let's see what... Okay, that's definitely not 16-bit, but that could be just Windows 3.1 doing its thing. So, I think, folks, I think we succeeded. Yeah, I think we did. Alright, on to other things. So let's see why that reset button is not working anymore. I'm use my multimeter. I'm going to check it for resistance. Let's see if I have my, my little buzzer. Okay. It's the black and white wires, and there's these little pads here I should be able to check it with. Be nice to find a new control or a new front panel for this. It doesn't have that broken clip, but what are you going to do? Ah, yeah. Doesn't work at all. How do you like that, huh? Alright. Well. Now we gotta do some investigating. Clearly, it doesn't work. Like I said, water probably got in there. See if I can pop the switch out without breaking it. That may not be possible. It may not be doable. Got the switch out. Alright. Let's see what we're going to do for it, if anything. I can feel like a clunk in it, so that's good. That's what you want. Does this come out? Grab a screwdriver. And see if we can't pull it apart. Probably snapped in there. There we go. Alright, there's a little rubber membrane in there. Okay, and there's two little contacts. No corrosion, no water, nothing. Let's take a look, see? Can you see? Okay. Two clean contacts in there. No corrosion at all. Okay. So what we're going to do is take a little isopropanoic alcohol. Anyway, we're going to clean this little membrane switch. I'm surprised to see a membrane switch in here. I expected to see something more like a regular old-fashioned switch. It's not dirty or anything, but let that dry. Oh, flu coughing. Where'd it go? I just blew it off my hand. All right, well, I found it. Really good cleaning again, and we won't be blowing it dry with our mouth, you know. That was stupid. That was stupid. Okay. We shall let it dry all on its own. Okay. Meanwhile, come up with a way of fixing this stupid clip. How are we going to do that? Any ideas? I've tried a bunch of things and nothing works. So it's just a really dumb design. I think what I'm going to do we'll try heat melting it once more. The iron get nice and toasty, and I'm going to try to heat it up real fast and just press it back together. Okay, I didn't record half of what I thought I was recording, so I fixed this Where's my damn center? There we go. I repaired this clip here as best I could. I don't have high hopes for this repair, but we'll see what it does. And I took the switch apart and I have cleaned it and reassembled it. Now when I toned it out with the multimeter, it doesn't short out, which is what it should theoretically do. It does have some resistance though, so it's not a dead short, it's got resistance. Well, we're going to put it back together and see if any of this stuff works correctly now. Here we go. Okay, now here we are. Put this cable in here, put this cable in here. Alright. So it may be possible that it's not expecting a dead short, it's expecting a slight amount of resistance, and that's all. I mean, it could be the case. Alright, hook this up here, and hook this LED up right here. I do believe it goes like that. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's get this case back in. Alright. Put that in like that. And that in like that. Okay, it's holding. So, let's see what happens. Alright, power it on. So what I'm doing right now, all these little repairs, I'm going to hit the reset button. Oh, it works! We fixed the reset button. Slide it back in. But, hey, I think we're good. Oh, it broke again! Damn it all! It didn't take much. But that clip just broke again. I'm not leaving it like that. That's not how I roll. I don't care what I have to do, but it works. All I did was slide it back and it broke. Found a solution. Rather than dick around with trying to find glues that will fuse broken ABS plastic pieces together, I came up with my own solution. This is a metal clip that I just made out of some scrap flashing from when I did some exterior home repairs. So this clip looks like this. And what it does is it will lock onto this piece right here. It locks onto this reinforcement rib. We're going to secure it with a little bit of glue after I make some minor alterations to the shape. I guess I really don't need to, but I'm gonna anyway. There. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide it in place. A little bit of glue. I can find my glue. A little thing of oh, there it is. We're going to use this Loctite. Now, it actually holds on pretty tightly just the way it is. And this Loctite will give it a little more reinforcement. And we just kind of slide it down into position. And then squeeze it in with a pair of pliers. That's good. That's right where it needs to be. There we go. Right about there. Let's test it. Okay. Before that glue cures, I want to make sure it's in the right position. Because it'll be a permanent install. Once that glue does its thing, it's permanent. That's it. It's done. We won't be able to make any adjustments to this position. So looks like it's in. And I'm gonna, honestly, it'll be stronger than it was from the factory. it is probably the strongest clip on the entire faceplate at this point. Yeah, once that cures, that's it, bud. It's done. It's never going to break again. And if it does, it'll be far more serious than it ever was before. So, I'm happy, you're happy, everybody happy. Sometimes you have to think outside the box. When you're trying to repair anything vintage like this, where parts are no longer available, the plastics themselves were never that great to begin with, and then you tack on 26 years of aging, it's just a bad situation all around, and you just have to think outside the box. If that means making metal brackets and securing them to what's left of the faceplate, you know, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I'm not content with a faceplate on this nice, beautiful vintage machine that just flops around like that. I'm not okay with that. You know, I'm just not. I paid a lot of money for this thing, and I want it to look like you know, make it look like it's worth what I paid, you know. But I've done repairs like that before. One of the things that I've started doing on some laptop repairs is we actually have better adhesives and epoxies than we ever had before, just through modern technology. And I've had to repair laptops using modern techniques, modern materials that weren't available when that machine was, you know, was new. And we can now 3D print entire components. I mean, we have technology now to fix things that would have been considered relatively unfixable just 15 years ago. And that's something. I don't own a 3D printer yet, but I will get one. And it'll be possible, with a little bit of learning, to recreate entire components that have been out of production for decades. So it's kind of neat. Really, though, the only modern thing I used was that adhesive. So back when this machine was new in '94, the only super glue that was really available, there were like two products. One of them was called Duro, I think, and the other one was Crazy Glue. And Crazy Glue sucked. I've never found a good use for it. But this Duro stuff was about this. It was the same thing but cheaper, I believe. We got all these books and manuals. Finally fixed that damn clip. The thing is, with ABS plastic, this should be a lesson to anyone here. With ABS plastic, especially after it's been aged so much, if it's under any stress, you just can't glue it back together. Especially a small clip like that. It just won't work. So I tried a couple of different attempts. I tried to fuse it with heat, and I knew it wasn't going to work, but I did it anyway, and the results were hilariously bad.